case you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Hey-o!
Hey, y'all.
That's my Ed McMahon impression. Hey-o!
Ed McMahon.
They're like, who's Ed McMahon? You're not old enough to know? Maybe you're not old enough to be here. Just kidding. It's Will,
This is Thomas.
who's got a hydration problem. And we're back at the Virtual Spinner Rack this week for another shot of Batman. Last Saturday, we had a special time, and we did Batman 400. On Batman Day, no less. It was 100% coincidental.
Random.
So random.
Usually crap doesn't work out that well.
Yeah, it's like, it wouldn't have worked out this well if we had planned it that way.
Oh. But no, I mean, after we did 400, dude, I always think like there's a few issues that from that time period that just seem like they're together to me or very similar, and this like immediately came to mind, and I'm like, dude, we're just gonna read it just because.
Yeah. And I remember this issue, and it's very cool because basically the plot of this comes out of an actual Sherlock Holmes novel.
Yes.
So, and they basically give you the Reader's Digest abridged version in the middle of the book.
Yes.
So it was pretty cool. And then we had then at the end there's a moment kind of like a certain Doctor Who special where out of the blue the Doctor Who I grew up on there
just shows up
and he's the museum curator. And I'm like, "Oh my God, he's still alive."
Yeah.
Tom Baker. So we get a Tom Baker moment, but it's not Tom Baker.
No.
Because this is Batman, not Doctor Who. Although there have been crossovers in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. So I know we were talking, normally do a little pre-show, the show and tell. You said you didn't get anything this week. I did not get anything old, but I got something in my shipment of comics that come in that I have been wanting for a while. And I pre-ordered it months ago when it was first listed.
Mm-hmm.
And
My Little Pony?
oh my God, no, dude! This is way better than My Little Pony. I would like to. We could do this on the damn show if you were up for it one day, if I can find it digital. But you ready? The brand new remastered Den, Volume 1 by Corbin.
I hate you. I have one random issue sitting over there that I picked up for like $3.
You better throw a not safe for work thing up there, because any of the interior artwork is not safe for work.
It's very Richard Corbin.
Oh my God, dude! It is, and the colors, they recolored it all.
Oh man!
They re-lettered it so that it's all nice and crisp. You can read it all. Every dude here has gone to Subway and got a foot long.
Not a sandwich.
I mean, you thought the bat was packing. Den is packing.
Oh yeah.
But this
Good
is.
Lord.
I mean, the art is absolutely stunning. I mean, nobody draws like Corbin. Nobody.
No.
I mean, he's so out of left field. But apparently, Dark Horse is
the Den segment of the original Heavy Metal movie was my second favorite segment. My first one was the World War II zombie one.
Yeah, the World War II zombie one was, dude, it was freaking awesome.
And I know the guy that did it.
Really?
Rusty Gilligan. He was a child actor, a professional wrestler, an artist. He was only 16 when he did that.
Damn, dude.
And there were no fax machines or internets or anything. So his mom used to have to fly him back and forth from like the Midwest to LA like twice a week
To drop off stuff.
to drop off stuff and get any notations on it and stuff.
Okay, they have new forward to this. Okay, so the forward to Den, the new printing here is you got one by Jose Valaruba. Okay, then there's a introduction which I've already read by Patton Oswalt.
Oh, I can't stand him.
Well, whatever. Then there's a first edition forward reprinted by Fritz Lieber, who's a freaking god in his own right. And then we've got I guess it's an afterwards, The Art of Richard Corbin, with an interview by Bruce Jones.
Oh, I would definitely read that.
Bruce is so damn good. And then at the back of it is, I guess, is the Den Gallery. So I don't know if these were cover images from the magazines.
Oh,
Freaking, I don't know, original art for Fantagor poster from 1968. Holy crap, dude, look at this. I haven't even had a chance to look through it all.
Oh, I look at the dinosaur one.
Yeah.
Say good night.
Good night, babe. Love you. See you in the morning. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I read online
Pick this up at
afterward
9:30.
that apparently Dark Horse is going to redo the entire Den storyline and reprint them all. And I only thought it was one story, but apparently there's I've seen solicits for 3 hardcovers now. So apparently they're 3 parts at least.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's going all the way until next year. But
Yeah, I thought the den part of heavy metal was hilarious.
it was so funny.
You actually have the
It's right in the back now.
yeah. We actually had the you know, they don't say it, but we know that the villain in that segment was a little late in the loafers.
Dude,
But he comes in and because he started as the kid and then he got hit by the beam, and
yeah.
he's like, holy shit, and he looks down and he's like, I'm enormous.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. He's got to grab that damn cloth. He says, "I'm not gonna walk around here with my dong hanging out everywhere."
And then he's trying to act tough because he's really like a 15-year-old kid or something.
Yeah.
And then he tries to deepen his voice. He goes, "Let the girl go." No. The girl dies, you die, everybody dies. I'm like, oh my God, the Romans were gay.
They shot his ass up. He says, I don't know. I can see why they made this guy their leader. But no, one of my favorite parts, I laughed out loud so much when I first watched that movie, is where he's going to sleep with the girl again. And the guys show up, they're going to shoot him. He's like, man, he says 18 years on Earth and nothing. Now twice in one day. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it was so fun. John Candy was perfect in that crap.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he as perfect as he was in that, I'm sorry, as the damn robot, and later in the movie, it is crazy. That was so funny. The first time I ever saw that movie, well, it was on like HBO way back in the day, but the first time I ever owned a copy of it was way back before Turner spent, I don't know how much untold millions of dollars to buy the movie. and pay everybody off so they could finally reissue it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was at Dragon Con, and there was a guy that had tables there, and he was selling bootleg VHS. That's right, people, VHS copies of Heavy Metal, and they're like, "Oh, it's the most pirated movie of all time. You could buy it." And for years, all I had was a pirated copy until, like I said, until Turner decided to pay everybody off. Because you had to pay the artist.
We had Master and Slave deck set up at the shop when we finally got like a good bootleg copy of it.
Yeah.
And then one of the female DJs in the afternoon on the rock station out here in Rhode Island was like, if anybody can get me a copy of the Heavy Metal movie, guys, you'll know what it is. It's lots of action, and every girl had a set of big giant boobs, and they were out for the viewing. And I called her up. I go, I got one. What do you want for it? I go, give me $20 for gas to drive out there, and I'll bring it to you right now. She's like, okay. And then she gave me like a bunch of like destroyed records from the prize vault.
Yeah.
Like ones that they had used on air when they were still doing turntables, and they would just scratch the crap out of them because they didn't care.
Damn it!
So they're like, oh, we can't play your album anymore because this. And I walked in, and it's a hot summer day. I walk in, and there's like 5 or 6 guys, like all dressed like head to toe in leather.
Good God!
And I'm like, it's like not even up here. Down there it'd be like 200 degrees. Up here it was like, close to 100. And I'm like, I go in, and she's like on the air, and it's like, okay, we're on a commercial break. Here it is. Here's your 20 things are coming out. Here's some records. Here's a couple of concert tickets for tonight. I go, who are the idiots all dressed in leather just sitting in the lobby? She's like, oh, they're my guests like in 10 minutes. Those are the Scorpions. I'm like, holy shit.
Really? The Scorpions? Damn it. I love Scorpions.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Let me go out there and get their autograph right quick.
Yeah. I'm looking through. I go, there's not a Scorpion album in here, is there? She's like, no. We already put those aside. They're going to sign them for us, and we're going to give them away at the concert tonight.
Damn it.
I'm like, damn it. So.
But, yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you. So, Heavy Metal was always pirated, and the other movie I remember from when we were little, young, teenagers, whatever you want to call it, back in the day.
Full head of hair.
Yeah, that was pirated the most because we used to watch it at one of the comic book shops I went to back when I was, young. Was Aliens, the Laserdisc director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? That big ass disc, you had to flip that bitch over.
I remember that because my friend Jason used to be a techno snob.
Yeah.
In his room, and it was like an 8x10 room. That was his whole bedroom. He had 5 different consoles, right?
Gaming consoles.
Consoles.
He had 5 at that time, so it was Atari 5200.
No. No. This is when I was like in my late teens.
Okay, so NES.
He had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Dreamcast.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Neo Geo had just gone out of business, so he walked in the store and GameStop was selling like their demo one with all the open games they had.
Yeah. Which
was like 6, which is I think all they made for the whole system, for like $250. So he checked it out, made sure everything worked, and he bought that and took it home. He had a complete multi-component stereo system. He had 24 tweeters because they were on sale at like Shopper Image, like the clip-in ones.
24 tweeters.
24 tweeters hanging up like every like 4 inches across his wall, complete surround sound on like a 5.0 surround system. Video game system was hooked into it. His mother and father were always yelling at him, "Turn that shit down." So he would wait for him to go out shopping, and then if he had the day off from work, he'd sit in there and he'd put on like, I don't know, like Bon Jovi or Def Leppard and just crank it all the way up.
Damn it.
Piss off all the neighbors because the owner of the house was still alive at the time. Him and his sister lived on the second floor, and they were elderly and very deaf. If not before, then afterwards. He had
feel it.
he had a laser disc player. He had a CD player, a CD carousel for like all his discs.
Oh my God, the 5-disc one or what?
The 500.
Oh, the 500. He had the big boy.
Yeah.
God, do they even make those anymore?
No, I saw one. It lasted for about. It popped up on my feed. It lasted for about 90 seconds before I could even hit the send button on "I'll take it." It was already gone. And the guy that was selling it was like, I pressed the post button. After it went through the mechanisms and I got the pop-up that it had posted to Marketplace, I already had 20 messages.
I saw a guy around here, so it's a couple hours from here, and I was really debating on doing it. It was like $400 or something. This was a while back. He put a laser disc and a laser disc player and all of his laser disc up for sale, and he had there was a ton of people that were bidding on it. I mean, and it was just go crazy on Marketplace. But he had the Aliens, he had Star Wars, he had some Star Trek, Indiana Jones, 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's like you could tell this guy was a sci-fi nut. Mm-hmm. And it was going crazy. I'm like, dude, this is not going to stay at $400 or best offer or whatever. And I was like, well, we're gonna have to go. But that would have been so nice because I'd actually read online that Laserdisc are making a comeback, like records. There's just something about physical. There's something about physical media, and then. Like my kids, and even my sister was fussing at me the other day because I was trying to play a CD and my car was acting stupid. It wasn't taking the CD, but it took another one. So I don't know. Hell, it just maybe didn't want to listen to, Judas Priest that day or whatever the hell it was. But it's just, I could tell her, I said, if you go to watch them, I got, 400 or 500 DVDs, if not more. I was like, there's so much stuff you want to watch that's not on streaming. And then, you have to pay for it. I mean, if you like what did you see? God, I forget his name now. Ron Perlman was fussing about the thing with Apple Music. He apparently has thousands and thousands of songs, and they were on he had loaded them into his computer, and they were all from CDs and whatever. He had bought them and everything else, and he listened to them, but they apparently changed the Apple Play thing. Now he had to spend $9 to get his damn songs back that he's already paid for because they're on his computer. They converted them all to Apple. And he's like, why? I mean, these are mine. It's like, if I take this and stick this Willie Nelson album on my radio, on my computer, which it probably is on my computer, it's mine. I bought this crap. It's on here for me to listen to. And people don't understand that. If I want to listen to this in my car, it's,
When you play Willie Nelson, do you get a contact high?
No, I wish. I wish. So I got Johnny Cash too.
Oh, nice.
But just so you don't think I'm a heathen, we can.
There we go.
Yeah.
I saw them. I got to see them live once.
Really?
And I was like in the middle of the arena, like halfway up in Boston, right after they built the Boston Gardens replacement, and they were putting stuff up on the screen, and there was apparently a female exotic entertainer a stripper, uh,
on the screen.
with she was probably like 28, but her boobs were 12,
Oh my God.
and she just went whoop, and the cameraman went, and the whole place erupted. The band stopped playing.
Damn.
I think the singer screeched over the microphone. Get her backstage now!
Damn it. Oh God. But yeah. No, I don't know. It's something about, like I said, all the old stuff like that we were
Yeah.
talking about. It just
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of streamers and TikTokers and stuff that are all about the physical media. Like I bought the entire before the new crappy Star Wars movies. I bought like the original nine, the prequels,
yeah.
the nine thing with like all the back stuff and everything digitally off of Amazon, because I could have paid $300 for a special box set at that time. Unfortunately, it wasn't the original versions of the original three. It was we're going to remaster this stuff, and I'm like, it was before I knew that I wasn't actually buying digital copies of anything.
No.
I was paying for basically a lease agreement, because that's what they do. So like if you buy something digitally off of Amazon, you only have that until the license that Amazon purchased for X amount of months or years has it. As soon as that license goes, it's gone, or could be gone unless there was some kind of clause in it.
Yeah.
I still have the digital copies of Star Wars, and I bought a bunch of stuff like that because I'm like, I just want to watch it now, and for stuff that was like, buy a digital copy for $15 or rent it for $9. Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, screw that! I'm just gonna buy the digital copy, because
Yeah.
that way I can just keep watching it. So
Well, and there's a bunch of stuff too. I mean, it's like I said, my big thing is movies that you can't find on streaming now. I mean, Highlander. I watched Highlander the other day. I don't know if Highlander's streaming anywhere. I'd have to hunt it down. But
matter of fact, the original Highlander movie and the Highlander TV show are both on Tubi right now.
are they?
And something else I discovered on Tubi last night, which I thought was cool because I never knew it existed. Like
Yeah.
I obviously know and have seen multiple times the Claude Rains Invisible Man movie.
Yeah. The first one.
Yeah, I didn't know that H.G. Wells developed it into a TV series.
Well, I don't know about whether it was Wells that developed in the TV series.
But it was because he came up with the original concept, right?
Yeah.
So they called it H.G. Wells' Invisible Man, but it's like 30-minute television episodes.
Really?
It's like if Batman was invisible.
So he's out
like
fighting crime?
He's out fighting crime. Yeah, he's like, it was weird. It's obviously all black and white from like the 50s or 60s. So
Well, and this talking about 50s and 60s stuff that's freaking awesome. That goes into this will blow into what we're doing here. When I was little, and of course we used to get the regular local TV stations.
yeah,
People don't remember local TV stations. It's the TV station in your town that's UHF or whatever, and it played, they didn't have the rights to everything, so they played whatever old crap they had. But that's where, and God, I'm probably going to get crucified for this, but like Charlie Chan. You remember Charlie Chan? I freaking love Charlie Chan.
My mother loved Charlie Chan.
God,
I was very disappointed when I found out Charlie Chan wasn't Chinese at all.
Dude, he's not
It's like they were very racist towards the Chinese man way early on in our in Hollywood's history. And,
Oh yes, he is not. But I mean, and he's, he's not played a racist character, but dude, he is. Yeah, he has been whitewashed a little bit in that series. But I love Charlie Chan
just a bit.
and the Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes series.
I've
got both of those, all the sets, the Sherlock Holmes and Charlie Chan.
I don't have the sets. I have some of the Basil and pre-Basil Sherlock Holmes radio adventures on record
Oh, sweet.
with the original commercials still in it.
Oh my God! So like Mentos commercials and stuff like, or what is it? Mentos? What is it? It's one of them old candies. No, Pepsodent had the old crazy commercials and all that on the radio.
Pepsodent, Ivory soap, all kinds of stuff like that. With the announcer's voice that was really high, that eventually led Seth MacFarlane to making Quagmire. That was the inspiration for Quagmire, because his dad used to buy like all these radio dramas, and he would sit in front of Seth as a little kid, sit in front of his grandfather's or his dad's hi-fi, and listen to these stories, these pre-recorded stories, and the ads were still in them to make them classic, authentic, and he would hear that voice all the time, and that's where he came up with the high giggity giggity.
God, you probably
and apparently Stewie was inspired by the UK's Rex Harrison.
Oh my God. You have probably heard it because I think it come out of WGBH in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was little, and we're talking, I'm gonna say 12, 13. I remember it. But they used to have on NPR here in South Georgia, they would play like a radio show or whatever around Halloween. And we found them one year. We were listening to them. We were little. And I can't remember. I think it was Orson Welles. But somebody did a radio drama of the monkey's paw. You know the story I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
And, the one where the guy brings the monkey's paw back from deepest darkest Africa or wherever, and you get 3 wishes, and somebody dies, so and so dies, and the wife or the son, the wife wishes that the son would come back to life. I wish he had, and he does, but he's all like banging on the door and all that, and he's a zombie, and they I wish it away, and that that's how it is. But it had the radio. The whole play with the sound and all that, and that deep voice. It did that one, and then they did a backup story, The Telltale Heart by Poe, on the radio. And I have been looking for them to listen to them again, and I can't find them.
I saw like a black and white horror movie like The Monkey's Paw, but they just called it The Claw. When I was 11, the first time I went to New York with my mother, we took the Greyhound bus. I came out of the bathroom in the back when they used to have bathrooms on them.
Yeah.
And was doing the young child whisper, which is like, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah.
And she said yes, and then I sang the entire commercial, prancing like Fred Astaire all the way up the aisle of the I Love New York commercial.
Oh my God.
And it was just me and my mother at the front of the bus, and the rest of the bus was like, all elderly people going to New York for like, a weekend shopping trip or something.
Yeah.
And it was around Christmas time, so I got to see like all the lights and everything. But we got picked up in New York at Penn Station, and then went to my mother's cousin's house. Everybody that was at least 20 years old, 10 or 20 years older than me, automatically became aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem proper back in the day to call them by their first name.
Yeah.
So we went to Aunt Gladys and Uncle Herb's in Jersey, and he had a pool table downstairs. So my Uncle Al, who was a pool shark back in his heyday, and Herb were teaching me properly how to play pool, because it looked simple. It's not. And they just had like, late night movies on, and that movie came on. That thing gave me nightmares for over 5 years, and every once in a while, I'll wake up and
Yeah, we're still okay.
Cold sweats and everything.
God, dude, I cannot. Yeah, I've been looking for that. I just want I've been looking for it for years. I would have liked my kids when they were younger to have listened to it, but they did listen to War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Oh yeah.
The old copy that sent people screaming and hollering into the streets.
That was great.
But
I listened to I used to have a copy of the audio of that because they played it on like a local AM radio station one year.
Yeah.
And I did the on the cassette deck and taped it. Missed about 90 seconds. So he starts to say one thing, it gets cut off, and then it's a totally different conversation when it comes back on because I had to stop it, flip it, advance the tape a little bit, and
keep going
and pop it on. And then I remember not long after that is when they started airing the first version of the movie of that, the black and white one.
Yeah.
And
well, no, it's in color.
It's been colorized now, but I saw it when it was black and white.
No, you were just watching it on the black and white TV. It's
Oh,
always
damn, I was.
been color. Huh?
That's right, I was watching it in my bedroom. All I had was a black and white TV.
Yeah, no. It was always been in color. You just had a black and white TV.
And I was too stupid to realize that up until I was today years old when, because I got really mad when they aired it like 10, 15 years later, and I'm watching it on my new color TV, and it was right around the time that Turner had bastardized a whole bunch of old movies and colorized. I go, what the hell? Why would they colorize this classic?
Yeah.
And everybody just looking at me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in black and white. No. Yeah. And it's not until now. They probably said, did you used to have a black and white TV? You old fuck.
Yeah.
Because when I would watch the Super Friends on black and white, through the power of suggestion in my mind, for some reason I could see the colors of the people on the screen because I knew from my comics.
What color they were.
Same thing with Star Trek. You know, it's like everybody's in gray tone. No. Can't you see Captain Kirk's shirt? It's yellow. Oh, that guy's going to die. Why? He's wearing a red shirt. So does Scotty. I go, yeah, but they need the guy to work on the engine. So
yeah, the guy that's got to fix the shit. It's got to be there. You can't kill his ass off. The replicators will quit working.
It's like that's why they never killed the girl the very pretty young girl that was the mechanic on Serenity. I go, they couldn't kill her because she was the only one that knew how to put the engine back together.
Yeah, our ass is going to be stuck.
Yep.
All right.
Here we go.
Detective Comics 572. This is the 50th anniversary of Batman. I was trying to do the math on that because it's got, March 87. Batman came out in
38.
I thought it was 39.
Batman might have, but Detective was out before then.
Oh, yeah, 50th anniversary of Detective. So, no, Detective came out in, like 37. It was out way before Action was. Because there were like 24 issues. There's another complaint.
There were 26 issues before Batman debuted.
26 issues. There's another complainer. Last year, they were going to re-release the first 26 issues of Detective Comics before Batman because they've never re-released them. And they're full of, racial stereotypes and all kind of other stuff that's not correct today. But there's still some great stories in there that, you could read and see that have never been reprinted. And the outcry was so much they canceled because I
Yeah.
had pre-ordered it.
The outcry from the blue and purple hair on Twitter that don't buy comics saw a blurb headline from, a clickbait site, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, but I mean, and now dude, I had it pre-ordered and they canceled it. But yeah, um, it's a cool cover by Kaluta. We've got a little Sherlock Holmes there. We've got Batman. They're looking apparently at some kind of book, and then there's our Detective Comics 27 in the back.
Apparently, Sherlock bought a copy and framed it on the wall, just to remind himself and to be able to tell Bruce that he's not the greatest detective of all time.
Damn it. I do love Sherlock Holmes though. Yep, celebrating 50th anniversary of Detective Comics, not Batman.
I did watch. Tubi also has Basil's movie of Hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh,
there,
sweet.
too.
I think I need to put Tubi on my TV. I don't ever watch it.
There's a lot of great old horror stuff on there right now.
I'll check it out.
They get a bunch of bunch of various Hammer horrors up there, and I know the title, and it's a famous title, but I had never watched it until 2 days ago. Was starring Vincent Price, The Pit and the Pendulum.
Oh yeah, dude, that's good. That and was it House on Haunted Hill?
Yep.
Oh yeah, but yeah. I have not looked up the Doomsday Book, even though that is the title of this, but I have heard of it before. So it is something. And this is a story by Mike Barr and colored by Adrian Roy, edited by Denny O'Neil. The reason we don't have an artist here, people, is this is what made me think of this issue, is there are a ton of artists in this book. I think there are about 5 of them, 4 or 5. Yep. From a century past, from the mind of the most evil genius man has ever known, comes a threat that can only be solved by our greatest sleuths of our time and the greatest sleuth of all time. So we've got Sherlock Holmes, Batman, the elongated man, Ralph. His wife does not make an appearance in this book,
But she's mentioned.
She's mentioned, and Slam Bradley.
Slam Bradley, who surprisingly has been around forever.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, he's like was it like Sam Spade or whatever? Did you look when Slam Bradley come around?
No, but I will. First, I got the Doomsday Book.
Okay.
The Doomsday Book is medieval English survey record in history. Doomsday Book, the Middle English spelling of Doomsday Book is a manuscript record of the Great Survey of much of England and parts of Wales, completed in the year of our Lord 1086 at the behest of King William, known as William the Conqueror.
Why the hell do they call it the Doomsday Book?
I guess it's the Great Survey in Middle English translates to the Doomsday Book, but I mean it was the Dark Ages, so
yeah. Crazy. All right, so it does start with we'll look up Slam Bradley, and chapter 1 starts with our man Slam.
What got me interested in Slam Bradley was before they rebooted the DC universe for the millionth time.
Yeah.
They had brought back yet another Catwoman series. No way near as good as Jim Ballard's Catwoman. But they did they had her looking out of Batman the Animated Series kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And Slam was her on again, off again old man crush. And she worked with him a lot, so he was like a regular character in her book.
Oh, that's sweet.
So let's see. Who was DC's first detective hero? Slam Bradley.
Really? So he's got to be in like Detective, 1 or 2 or some crap like that, probably.
Let's see. Superman isn't just the first DC superhero, but the first superhero in general, establishing the genre and making superhero fiction the face of American comic books. But about a year before the Man of Steel first appeared, Slam Bradley debuted in a story by Superman creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in Detective Comics #1.
Holy crap! Really?
Though he wasn't super by any means, he was still one of the first reoccurring heroes in what would become the DC Universe, dishing out hard-boiled justice even during the rise of superheroes.
Now, see, that would be something cool, like a collection of those. Because the thing is you look, Slam Bradley, as he's here, God, we're showing how old we are now. One of my favorite freaking movies of all time is The Maltese Falcon with damn Humphrey Bogart in it.
Yep.
Oh my God. And, he plays, was it Sam Spade in there? Which is from Dashiell Hammett. And then you've got Philip Marlowe by Chandler. Yes, I like detective stuff. And Arthur something is another one. He plays another great detective. But they all have that same kind of deal. Because I thought about this when I read it again and kind of put two together. If you watch Maltese Falcon, you know that Bogart's partner in crime gets killed right before the freaking episode starts. And then here's Slam Bradley. We start this issue. And this private detective slain by
I'm gonna show you this. This is looking a lot like Superman. Jerry
Oh my
Siegel.
God.
There he is.
Yeah.
And the guy behind him looks a lot like Dagwood, but
Like Dagwood. He's got a damn sandwich.
no, he's got like the little hairs, like single hairs coming off his head.
Yeah, I know.
They tied Slam to the Batman family mythos in both Detective Comics 1000 and the Catwoman 80th Anniversary 100-page spectacular.
Oh, now I may have that one. I don't know. I don't know if I've read it, but I think I bought it. Because I bought a bunch of those 100-page spectaculars.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And this is what he looks like now. This is like out of a page of that Catwoman series where he was regularly occurring.
Yeah. Sweet. Dude, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was still being used. I knew he's an old character.
Yeah. They brought him back for that Catwoman series. And obviously, everybody loves Catwoman. Guys for one reason, girls for another. And they brought him back in there, and he became so popular in that book as the gumshoe, basically, because that's what he was.
Yeah.
But he was old. But a lot of times he didn't realize he was old, so he would like break fingers punching people.
Yeah.
So he just started basically taking out his like 38 and pistol whipping somebody with the handle to knock him out.
That's what I made my kids watch. I made my kids watch Lethal Weapon 1 the other day, where Danny Glover keeps saying, Danny Glover keeps saying,
I'm too old for this shit.
I said, Dad, you say that all the time. Yep. So, yeah, he's out, Slam's out at a bar, he's kind of drowning his sorrows or whatever. He's talking about he doesn't have any family, doesn't have any boat, buddy to go to. It is Christmas. This is a Christmas issues, people. He does tip the barkeep a good bit. Bruno there, he leaves the change, and he heads back to the office, where he goes in there and sits down. We see private detective slain by pushers. I was running low on friends too because his partner's dead.
Yeah, and you notice like in that top panel on the page before.
Which one? This one?
The one in the circle.
Yeah, right there.
Is it me, or is that Golden Age Kal-El from Crisis on Infinite Earths with the gray temples? And he's even got the curly in the front.
Got the Superman curl, yes.
The Superman curl that for decades in the Golden Age and even some into like the Silver and Bronze Age was thought he would lose all his powers if that curl was cut off his head.
Cut off his head. It's like Samson.
It's like the receiver dish for the solar energy.
Damn it. Oh, the artist in this is Alan Davis.
Very nice.
All right, so yeah, I did right by poor Shorty. I wiped out the lice that nailed him, but it got me thinking. Shorty and I never thought our time would be up. So yeah, we know he's older now. When suddenly the door opens, but it's not a beautiful blonde that comes in. It's somebody else. I'm here. You're Morgan. Yes, Thomas Morgan. I must thank you for seeing me this late at night. The plane from London was late. Smoke? Nope. Dude, he freaking strikes it on his shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Morgan, doesn't smoke, and he finds out he's looking for a woman. Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, honey.
Not anymore, honey.
Oh.
I have reasonable. You're going to get your ass thrown on the couch. Still there. I have reason to believe she's been brought to Gotham. That's when I phoned you. And it was about to get worse.
And there's a lot of dated references in this issue.
Oh my God!
That were like incredibly topical at the time. Like
yes.
It was very popular to have mini Uzi submachine guns, which is why a certain dressed all in black member of G.I. Joe, that was his weapon for years, was
yes.
the Uzis.
And they're all on the freaking oh my God, Miami Vice was full of Uzi machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any of the old cop shows like that. But yeah, so
I had a battery-operated Uzi water gun. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. My mother hated it.
Yeah, should get you shot now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Morgan, do you have any friends in town? No, why not? And they come breaking in, straight up 80s. And of course, he's an old man, so all he's got's a damn 38.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he manages to get him a couple shots out as they duck out the damn window. They found me. I don't know what I was talking about, but I didn't care much. I was trying to make sure I could catch up later. They head down the fire escape as the guys chase them. And, of course, down at the bottom of the fire escape, they've actually got it surrounded. They knew if he would run out that way, they're going to kill him. So these people are pretty much after him.
Yeah.
Slam does manage to get past them shooting. When somebody shoots the damn gun out of his hand and they're trying to get down into the freaking sewers here. He's like, I felt like I had, running out of luck, but I got my Christmas present early.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of I'm not complaining. Let's say we stuff some stockings, Robin. You'll bet, Batman. You can tell this is back in the day.
See, that should right there answer your question. Which Robin is this?
Yeah.
It's Dick.
Oh, God. So they come in. Dude, this is freaking amazing art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, and he's still good today.
Oh, yeah.
But this is amazing art. Batman just... Now, do we notice how Batman just drags this dude in front of the gun?
You don't want to get shot.
Yeah, you don't want to get shot. But that that guy gets shot. Here's Robin. That'll give you a red-nosed Rudolph.
One less person for the taxpayer to have to cup up to keep in the big house.
Tim, I must be standing under some mistletoe, but since neither of you are my type, you could kiss each other. Riz Robin jumps out of the way. This is a freaking awesome panel. You can tell Robin's shocked.
Yeah.
I like how the domino mask actually changes, kind of like Spider-Man's eyes when McFarlane was drawing him.
Yeah.
Nobody else had really done that until McFarlane did. It's crazy. But yeah, always watch your back, kid. Slam comes in and saves him, and then look like you got me, but turn that around, and I think I've got you. Oh, that's far enough. Now here's your another dated reference.
That page beforehand where Batman's, kicking him.
Yeah.
That brings me back to the 70s.
Yeah. Because
that's what they used to do all the time.
Yeah.
I thought there was a special thing on the bat symbol on his chest that opened up and would launch him forward into somersaults until he stopped because of an issue of Detective Comics actually featuring Ra's al Ghul. But it wasn't
Really?
the first. It wasn't the first appearance. It was like 75, 76 or something like that.
I got you. Dang. So now Batman hears the guy speak. He's like, British accent. Looks like that tip from Commissioner Gordon got from London was correct. There's been enough talk. I've got what I came for. So, the guy backs away and takes
Takes the captive.
Our client there. You boys didn't know anything about their, names. No following. This is by the book. This isn't over yet. How do you feel about Christmas in London? Let's go, Batman. He's so enthusiastic. Thanks for your help, Bradley. But but your part is through here. So you think maybe not so much. Yeah. He says it doesn't make any difference whether you took his money or not. Yeah. When a man's client is kidnapped, he's supposed to do something about it. So we know Batman and Robin are heading to London, and Slam's right behind them. That panel, the middle one right there, dude, that is freaking. There's so many awesome panels in here that it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Now, all right, so now we get our part 2, and this is by Terry Beatty and Dick Giordano, however you say his name.
Giordano, yeah.
Giordano. And now we follow Slam as he is heading out to try and find out who took his client. And the only piece of evidence he's really got is the girl that the guy was looking for. So he's going to go show the damn picture around town. But here's your other reference that's dated that kind of stood out like a damn sore thumb to me. He says, I had easier cases, I admit, no idea who the girl was. Her connection to my kidnapped client was no leads to find her. He says, but I take that back. I had one lead. I knew the IRA was involved. It wasn't much because the IRA is no more. They're gone. So he, being that he's looking for someone in the IRA, he goes out and hits every Irish pub he can in Gotham. And apparently Gotham's just like Boston. They've got 1 million of them. Evening, sir. Merry Christmas. What do you have? A brew? So Slam heads around, and he starts showing her picture around. Some people get nervous. And he starts dropping the hint that whoever's got her kidnapped has the wrong person. And we see, he goes around, the first bar, nobody knows nothing. And really nobody knows anything. He goes to Lucky's, Mickey's, the Leprechaun, O'Hara's Tap.
That's a tip of the hat to Chief O'Hara from the Batman TV show.
Probably, yeah. I didn't even think about it. I mean, yeah. And then he finally goes to the Winged Harp. He talks, shows the picture around. Nobody does anything until, a few minutes after he did. This guy who's been sitting there doing jack and crap all of a sudden jumps up and hauls ass. And Slam's like, I give him 10 minutes. And he gives him 10 minutes because he doesn't want to get jumped going out after him. He heads out and he says, I made my move. There's a chance he was waiting for me to know how much I knew. But if he was who I hoped he was, he'd want to let his cronies know ASAP. I hope he'd be a good boy. And he called to let his friends know it was up. So he actually goes out. There's a damn phone booth. Yes, people, they used to have phone booths. Not far from the damn bar. And he's put a tape recorder in there. Shorty always said, you got to change with the times, Slammer. He actually listens to the tape. Doesn't hear a whole lot, but what he does hear is in the background, he hears a cable car running. So I did not know there was an island in the middle of Gotham River.
I think they just made it up for this issue.
Oh, they just made it up for this issue. Is that what it is?
Because I don't remember them. I don't remember anything else. At some point, they in the lore, I think it was for the Arkham Asylum video games.
Yeah.
That Arkham Asylum moved from just outside the city limits to its own island that you had to take a ferry to get to. They did that just for like the video game, but you know.
Yeah. Well, now I remember Blackgate was always on an island
Yeah,
in the middle of the river.
Yeah, because they wanted it like Alcatraz.
Yeah, like Alcatraz. But I always thought I'd have to look at the video game on that again. Arkham was to me has always been it's been outside of the city, you know, not far from Wayne Manor, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he hears the damn cable cars and he heads to Gotham Island. And we hear he says Gotham Island, quiet, respectable, aloof, the perfect hideaway. There were a few places in immediate vicinity where they could be holed up. And lo and behold, he strikes dirt on the first freaking one almost. Yep. He says, but this time I found her first crack out of the box. I thought my luck was changing. You think I had more sense at my age? They see him looking in the window and they come out and they're going to shoot his ass. But, oh no, he's smart. He jumps through the freaking window into the house when they come out.
Yeah, I'm going to run, but not the way they expect me to.
Nope. And then there's our guy from the bar. He's even got the stain. He hasn't even got his scarf and everything off. He shoots him. They head out. This is cool. To try and get away, they grab a couple cans of gasoline. They haul ass and then throw them back at him, and he shoots them, and it just fire.
Yeah, he like takes 2 pot shots, hits him with one. So in actuality, he probably only hit one of the tanks.
Yeah.
And it blew up and took the other one with it and, you know, laid them out.
Yeah. At least they probably live. He does. And then he punches a guy. So here's where you were talking about from the Catwoman. Says, I may have broken my hand with that last stunt, but I have to admit it felt good as he punches one of the guys out. So he now tells his client's friend that he's looking for, your friend Thomas Morgan didn't have a chance to tell me, miss, what's going on? That's not his real name. He's ashamed of his family's name. It's Thomas Moriarty. And my name's Watson, Mary Watson. So this is Dr. Watson's granddaughter.
Yeah, great-granddaughter.
Yeah, great-granddaughter. And Moriarty's, you know, great-grandson. Suddenly I felt older than ever. Damn it. And now we go to chapter 3. Now the art in here is by Infantino and Alve, The Adventure of the Lost Adventure. All right.
Because the Elongated Man, like all his backup stories, they put him in like the back of Detective Comics for years.
Well, before that, he was in The Flash.
Yeah.
He was in the backup stories of The Flash. And Infantino drew almost all of them. And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I absolutely freaking love the Elongated Man. And it's from reading him in Detective Comics.
Yeah.
He was so damn cool.
I like the original, like, red multicolored costume opposed to this, like, you know, 2-tone gray thing.
Yeah, the white and gray or whatever.
The white and gray. I'm like, you're fighting crime and sleuthing. That thing's going to be filthy all the time unless you know, jump universes and, you know, held Reed at gunpoint and made him make you a fancy outfit.
Yeah, out of unstable molecules. Yep.
And I'm like, that's the only way any of his costumes would work, because he would drink the gin gold.
Yeah.
To get his powers that used to only last for a certain amount of time, and then eventually they made it so, you know, he was basically like Eel O'Brien, only smart. And there's a reference to him, to Plastic Man, in this book too.
I didn't catch that one. Now the thing is, I remember originally when he came out, his powers only lasted a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah.
But after a while, I remember, because in his current continuity, I think he's drunk so much of the Gingold or whatever that his powers are permanent now.
Yeah. Kind of like every time they make Captain America like 180 years old, and he loses all his powers, within a year, he's like 20 again, because it's just recycling through his body.
Yeah, something. Oh.
I could use some of that serum.
I'm telling you. So now we discovered that Ralph is actually in London. And he is here because he's going to a business meeting. to see a Mr. Richard Wade, who's found an unpublished Sherlock Holmes story. And apparently, Mr. Wade is the caretaker of the actual 221B Baker Street, the actual house of Sherlock Holmes, or the apartment.
Which doesn't exist in real life.
No. But now, isn't Doctor Strange's house, isn't the Sanctum Sanctorum like 221B as well?
I think so, yeah. But,
Yeah.
In New York City.
In New York, yeah. So, the elongated man. So he's heading there, and he's like, it's almost like I expect one of Moriarty's men to try and shoot him. And he turns the corner, and there's a gunfire. And of course, Ralph quickly, heads up. I love he starts stretching and puts his little domino mask on. The art is amazing in here.
Yeah. It's just funny. Like, wait, he stretches, the costume stretches, and now his trench coat stretches?
It don't stretch for long because it falls off of him.
Yeah. But it's just funny that it's like it's twirling around while it's falling off.
Yeah. So a good thing Sue decided. Yeah, so Sue decided to go to the theater with friends. She'll be out of trouble, and so will I, since I promised her that on this trip I'd keep my mystery sniffing nose on vacation. So far, this is just like the Holmes story, The Adventure of the Empty House.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Sherlock Holmes dummy that sits in the window, which got shot, and then there's Mr. Wade. Ralph, my boy, they're after the manuscript. Mustn't let them have it. Where? And then, or he whispers something. He says, Jean something. Is his wife, his daughter? Someone's coming. Richard just passed out. So Ralph disappears, essentially, when the door swings open, and here comes Moriarty. I could not resist the symmetry derived by using the air gun on this occasion. Wade has for years been the caretaker of the state of the cloddish Dr. Watson. Let the final pan of Professor Moriarty be filled. So they're looking for the manuscript, and when he says Moriarty, Ralph is in the damn violin. He's like, Moriarty? Who said that? It's over there. It's a violin. And he decides to come out and start swinging. I love the Popeye reference here. He makes his arms real big like Popeye's. Yeah. Starts hitting them just to delay. I don't remember this sign being on Sherlock's wall. Yeah. It's supposed to be Queen Victoria's name, Victoria Regina, but in your case, it means very rotten for marksmanship. And he just keeps. And then not only that, Ralph gets a damn dirty ass needle and sticks this dude in the ass with it.
I'm not sure what was in that syringe, but it can't be good for you.
No. I mean, this is Sherlock Holmes's house. It's probably morphine. He had an addiction. That's it, of course, he's going to shoot Wade now with the air gun up close, and it'll kill him. He says, oh, you want me to stand still and get clobbered? Precisely. He gets the hell knocked out of him and passes out. Now, I did think about this because, I've read like on Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic and all that. Like, dude, they're so flexible. Like, these kind of blows wouldn't really affect him unless he's caught off guard.
Yeah.
And then it would affect him. So that's what I was thinking here. So he knocks him out. And then Moriarty he's going to use the damn chemicals on the operation table there, or the chemical bench, to kill everybody. Makes a damn like poison and heads out. Just as Slam shows up. Of course, they rush in, they pull Wade out, and then look out, Mr. Bradley. This when she runs in. There's snakes everywhere. Be careful now. Those ain't snakes, Lunny, in the grass. He says, you're an American adventurer, the Eel Man. Not even close.
There it is. Eel O'Brien.
Yeah, I got it now. Yeah, the Eel Man. No. Help me put out this fire. So they do when it's done. So the Batman's involved. We find out Slam's here. Batman's on his way. So the Batman's involved. Good, we may need him. In the meantime, where's the manuscript? Everyone's been hunting. Mr. Wade seems to be coming around. Maybe he'll tell you. Let him rest, Mary. I've been thinking about what he said. Jean is a woman's name, and I realized he may have been saying gasogene, a device used to carbonate water for drinks. Holmes had one and used it all the time. Dude, I did not know that. But yeah, so he used it as a hiding place. It's down inside like the inner chamber where the two pieces go together.
Yeah.
So he finds the damn manuscript and he says, let's go back to the hotel where we can read it. If Moriarty will destroy it, maybe it has a clue, and we can find out what it is. Now,
Aru!
Yeah, Aru. So now we head Sherlock Holmes in The Adventure of Red Leech. Now, this is by E.R. Cruz is the artist. I looked him up because I would say super impressed that this is radically different, and it fits so well with the story because this is an old story, so you needed an older style art with it.
Mm-hmm.
E.R. Cruz, I actually got the wiki page right here. Yeah, he worked with Tony DeZunga, who I freaking love. We've talked about before. So he's actually one of the artists from the Philippines. And he worked with Tony DeZunga's studio from 1963 to 71. His first story was Let's Scare Lisa to Death by DC Comics in The Unexpected from number 139. And he has a pretty damn big resume of comics he drew. His last story was the Savage Sword of Conan 233. But yeah, he drew Unexpected, GI Combat, Ghost, House of Mystery, House of Secret, Fighting Forces. He did a couple issues of The Shadow, and he did a Sherlock Holmes one-shot in 75. So this is why they obviously tapped him for this issue. So here we discover this is a Sherlock Holmes story now. So Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes are there together. Watson shows up as Sherlock is actually talking to Nigel Brewster here, who's actually come to Sherlock Holmes because he's missing time. Everybody keeps telling him he's showing up at places that he doesn't remember, and his wife is like, "Oh, it's okay." So after a quick, talking to him, Sherlock discovers that, he's left-handed. You're recently married, and you have acceded to your wife's wishes and abandoned the pipe, though you have indulged on the habit for several years. She's like, how? That's incredible. Dude, this has always got me when you watch Sherlock Holmes. And when he explains how he comes to his conclusions, you're like, oh my God, okay. Yeah, so your left-handedness is by the fact that your belt, the free end of your belt points to the right, indicating it's straighter with your left hand. Makes perfect sense. Your status as a newlywed is confirmed by the fact that you're constantly toying with your wedding ring, indicating you have not yet become accustomed to its weight. And your liking for the pipe can be deducted from callus on your left thumb and forefinger, obtained from holding it for long hours. But you've given up this because your clothes don't smell of tobacco. Remarkable. So he tells them all what's going on. He keeps, showing up at places, but he doesn't remember it. And when he's talking to his wife, she just tells him, hey, don't worry about it. But it keeps bothering because it's happened 3 times. Mm-hmm. And, Sherlock Holmes obviously asked him, hey, have you got any, dementia in your family, anything like that? And he says, no. So he leaves. And when he leaves, Sherlock tells Dr. Watson, hey, look, just let me be. I'm going to think about it for a while. Don't bother me. Until I've come to a conclusion. Oh, I did include this in the book. Apparently, in the middle is a sweet remembrance of Dick Sprang, and he had just passed, I guess.
I tried to lift that image.
Yeah.
Because I was going to just put it as my desktop background.
Yeah.
And I couldn't snag it. It was too well protected. So I still have Teen Titans on Kenny X-Men with the Mike Zeck signature on my desktop. Damn
it. Dude, looking at it, I mean, I'd have to go back and read some Sprang because it's been a while. But that's some damn awesome art for the day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Freaking classic stuff.
when Joker looked like
Dude from
looked
that
like he
movie.
was lifted right out of the image from The Man Who Laughs that inspired the character.
Yep.
I've actually got, if you remember, like probably like 20, 30 years ago, DC Collectibles started making marionettes, and
Yeah.
the first one they released was the Joker, and it was a sculpted head done after his art,
Oh, sweet.
like the extended chin and everything. I still have it. I haven't set it up because I still have a bunch of stuff to move around, but I got it like put aside. Afterwards, they did a Harley, and I'm like, no.
No.
They did a Batman one too. It was like like old school, like
Lantern
19
jaw Batman.
yeah, like square jawed. Not Dark Knight, but the beefy. I can still get hit and get my butt whipped. 1970s Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
Damn it. So Sherlock goes, he thinks about this, and then apparently he goes to bed. You can tell because he's got his little cap on, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's got it figured out. Watson, throw on your clothes and join me. I have a waiting cab. Watson's like, what's the emergency? If I'm correct, my surmises, the term emergency is a grave understatement. So they head off. What's the matter? He says, for some time, Watson, I've been aware of a criminal mastermind manipulating the inhabitants of London's underworld like some malignant puppet masseter.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean? He says, so he sends a cable beforehand, and he sends it to Mr. Templeton, a member of the Chicago police force with some wit about him, as to my query. And he asked him, he had just died. Our man, what was his name? I didn't forgot it now. The guy that come to Sherlock Holmes.
The doctor.
Yeah, the doctor. He got married, and he married a lady, a Mrs. Crosby. So when he sends out the damn telegram to London, or not to London, but Chicago, he asked him about, Mr. Banker Crosby and his daughter. And they died in a freaking,
A year ago.
yeah, a year ago in a train crash. So Dr. Brewster, that's his name. He married the daughter of Chicago banker Crosby, but your colleague says she perished last year precisely, and I wonder if it was by accident. So they head out.
Come, Watson, something's afoot.
Exactly.
I think it's your feet.
Yep. They head out to the residence there, the Gables residence of Dr. and Mrs. Nigel Brewster. Let us enter from the rear. That way nobody will get there. So they head in, and when they get inside, they hide. They see the wife walk by, and they sneak around. They finally find good old Nigel there. As I expected, try and bring him around. He seems comatose, so they pull it off. I guess there's some kind of mind control leech or something. He tells about it, and Watson freaks out, pulls the leech off of the doctor, and throws it in the fire. Says, shame you were so perception in your actions, doctor. I should have liked to study the creature. So, but too bad his scream has roused everybody, and now they're heading towards him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is back in the day. Watson is like 3 times the man we are. Even with his old war wound, he manages to pick up this grown-ass man on his shoulder. He's going to carry him out as Sherlock beats the hell out of the people when they run by. It does some fighting.
And then Watson drops the guy
because
and shoots somebody.
Yeah, he drops him and shoots somebody. Yeah. You've got your... you brought your service revolver. It's a habit I've grown accustomed to. Excellent. But too bad the wife now shows up, and she's going to kill him.
Yeah, she got the 12 gauge out.
Or something. But good old Sherlock jives to the floor and pulls the rug out from underneath her. And
she shoots the chandelier.
Yeah.
And executes herself.
Pretty much.
I was like, when I saw that panel, because I hadn't read this in like years, when I saw that panel, I was like, ooh, that's pretty brutal. Oh, it's the 70s. Never mind.
Yeah, back in the day. Yep. She's gone.
Now, everybody would be in their safe space with their coloring books.
Damn it. Another life in which our absentina puppeteer must pay, Watson. So Now they head out, and he says, "What of us? We've got an appointment at Buckingham Palace." And of course, it's Sherlock Holmes, so he can get in to see the Queen. They're going to let him in.
Yeah, but he brings Lestrade from Scotland Yard anyhow.
Yeah, damn it.
Just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Where's Dr. Brewster? He's gone inside. Her Majesty will attend you in a moment, at her convenience. Thank heaven we're not too late. He runs in, and there's Dr. Brewster.
Except it can't be Dr. Brewster.
No, because he's back there. He does, of course, he throws a knife at Sherlock, who it gets caught up in his damn overcoat there, and he lays him out. The Queen is safe, Mr. Holmes, but if I don't come up with some explanations, so he pulls off the toupee, and then they look in the medical bag, and we find there's another like mind control leech.
Yeah, another red leech.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it's a mind control leech or if it's the fact that the leech, through like sucking toxins and blood out of your system to feed on, just makes you weak and basically comatose.
I guess. Yeah. So Sherlock Holmes explains what's going on and tells them about all the villains and everything else, and how they saved the Queen. Of course, poor Nigel there is a little upset because his brand new wife is dead. But he said, she didn't love you anyway. But thanks, Sherlock. She just used you as a pawn to get to the Queen, where I'm sure they would have put put whoever they wanted in charge.
And you knew who it was going to be, because before she shut down the chandelier on her skull, she had mentioned, I already know what the professor will want for you, so we already know that from earlier that this is the illustrious Professor Moriarty.
Yep. And of course, that now after they're discussing it, rending it up, they're talking about finding the ringleader. When a damn rock gets thrown through the window, if you cross my path again, it shall go hard on you. It seems our little efforts have not been noticed. Was it he, Holmes, your foe? It was. The world is not big enough for us both, Watson. We shall meet again, I'm sure, in what may be our final encounter. Which, if you have read Sherlock Holmes, that's their final encounter. Is what, isn't it at the at Victoria Falls, when Moriarty falls to his death?
Or does he? Because now, Star Trek reference, he's trapped on the Enterprise D's.
Yeah, in the holodeck.
In the holodeck to this very day.
Yep. So, an end of story. So now we're back to modern times, and we're back to Alan Davis art. The bottom panel in here, the one where Batman is holding the freaking paper, is so iconic, it's stupid. I don't know how many times I've seen that one image. It's amazing. But yeah, so now Batman, Slam, Mrs. Watson, Robin, and Ralph are all having tea when they're discussing. A century later, his descendant's going to finish the job. So we find out that Batman, disguised as Matches Malone, was going around some bars when he listened to it, and he heard enough that he's got his suspicions down and he knows what the hell's going on, but he had to get the hell out of the bars because everybody was getting suspicious of him. Yeah. Moriarty's behind.
There's a Yank hanging around listening to what we're talking about. Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here. We will, not, of course, Moriarty behind it, but, Mary Watson wants to make sure that it's not Thomas. He wants to stop him. We will, Mary. Working yourself into a lather won't help. Any word from Alf and Robin? Only a message is for you from a guy who didn't leave his name, Batman. He left a number, though. He almost spills it. Can't worry about that now. According to the papers, the royal family will be dedicating the Grimsey Castle Museum on Christmas Eve tonight. Right, then the Queen is supposed to receive a gift from the people of England, a newly compiled edition of something called the Doomsday Book. What that means, Moriarty has a backup plan in mind, and I know what it is. So, Batman actually tells them all, hey, y'all hang tight, stay here. I'm going to notify Inspector Froxborough of Scotland Yard He's in charge of rural security. But, he's going to head out to Grimsby Castle anyway. And he leaves Robin with him. Bradley, I told you to stay out of this. One of the richest men in the world once told me to go to hell. I didn't listen to him either. And Batman leaves. Of course, I do love how he keeps calling him Wonder Boy. They call you the Wonder Boy. Well, we'll see what it takes, Redbreast. Try me. It's that boy wonder. Whatever.
Whatever, kid.
Yeah. And, of course, they all head out. They're going to try and follow Batman. So next stop, Greenham Common. I love this. Moriarty, not to slam Infantino, but the Alan Davis Moriarty looks way cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're heading up. They actually shoot this damn rocket, or not rocket, but this truck, because it's carrying a rocket on it. Moriarty here is going to do it. And they're going to load the rocket and put, I guess, a nuclear bomb on it. They're going to freaking blow Grimsdale Castle up. And that's what Thomas Moriarty has been trying to stop. Fear, terror. The sheep of this country, of this world, will know that Moriarty is still a name to be reckoned with. And, of course, here's in the damn Corvette, with Ralph driving with his dang head sticking way up out of the window like a giraffe. They're heading out to the countryside. Of course, I don't understand how Slam smells nerve gas. Pull over, Stretch. Of course, he pulls over, and there they are. They see Moriarty as they're, souping up the rocket, and they head out to actually attack them. Of course, Robin's jumping all around everybody, and he gets slung on the rocket. This is cool. The rocket takes off, and Ralph actually jumps on the rocket and saves Robin. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get blown off. It'd be like, damn, Bucky. Good thing my rubbery body could withstand the shock of liftoff. If I had any sense, I'd pull out of here now. And then that's a cool scene. See his fingers? Dude, they're all like little wrenches and stuff.
Yeah.
Screwdrivers and wrenches.
To take it apart so they can take the payload out.
Yep. And then, of course, the rocket blows up. You creep. Mr. Bradley, I think we found Thomas. If only the others had lived to see. Of course, Slam sees him. He says, I wouldn't waste too many tears, Mary. Looks like we've got some extra luck for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Did you see me, Mr. Bradley? I wasn't afraid. You're aces, Redbreast.
Yeah, exactly.
And now back at the damn Grimsley Castle, they're turning it into a museum. So that's why the Queen is here. And she's going to dedicate the museum, and they're giving her the Doomsday Book, which we've looked up as a new, is just a land, basically a land survey. And here's our head of security from Scotland Yard. The royal family's in pace. Stop security. Keep a lookout for anything. And if you see someone impersonating the Batman, shoot to kill. He's an assassin and is to be considered extremely dangerous. And of course, Batman's like, he hears it. Well, that confirms one suspicion, which means I better get busy before, blast it. They're better than I thought. So there he is. Dude, that's awesome too. They open fire at him, and he dives backwards off the damn castle into the water. Cool picture of Queen Elizabeth there as Batman heads in. And just as she's about to open the book, he jumps in there and kicks it into the, above the audience and shields the Queen as it explodes. Mm-hmm. We're wondering who planted that bomb. The same man who warned you against me and had access to security plans. The traitor within your mix, Inspector Foxborough. The detonator proves it. And, of course, Foxborough wants to save his skin, so he hauls ass. Out of my way, you, as he's going to run towards this old dude with the cane. And the guy says, I think not. A touch of Baritsu should put you in your place. Somebody trips him, and then Batman's like, thanks for your help, sir. Oh, my God. Dude, that's cool. Gratitude, my dear Batman, is mine. I believe all your friends are approaching. And we discover that this is Sherlock Holmes. May I suggest we repair to a private spot? It can't be. Ralph is just shocked. I assure you it can. Thanks to a diet of certain distillation of royal jelly, I've developed my beekeeping days in the rarefied atmosphere of Tibet, where I keep my primary residence. Thank you not. Yeah, Batman offers him a smoke. Nope. The pipe
Just
is
for show
terrible.
nowadays.
Yep. And he tells him about the old fight where he had to stop Moriarty from killing the queen before. And he sends the hotel to it. He tells him straight. He said, "I sent a message to your hotel. Your disguise is not difficult of one of my powers to fathom, but I ignored it. Yes, but it worked out for the best." And then we discover, he actually kind of blesses the wedding here between Thomas and Mary. Be no point to, could not better ourselves. Thomas, remember that, and you have my blessing. And he's like, off. Well, I got to be gone. Thank you. He can't just leave like that. I got a million questions. I'm afraid he's earned his privacy, Ralph. I can't argue with that. You haven't said much, Bradley. Just been thinking, Batman. Compared to him, I'm still a spring chicken. I think he's up. I'm planning on being around a while. The end.
What was funny too is earlier in the book, during his fighting banter,
Yeah.
very Spider-Man-ish stuff that Robin used to yell out all the time too.
Yeah.
He makes reference to payphones that were still around at this time, and Robin says, "Please deposit another 25 cents for an additional 3 minutes."
For additional 3 minutes. I don't want to say 400 was a great issue. This to me is a better issue. It's just fun. And the art is damn amazing.
Oh yeah, it was. The other one was like a little more had like a more of a serious tone to the story.
Yeah.
And this one was the other one was like straight bat assery.
Yeah.
And this one was like a straight up detective story, which is
Yeah.
why we have Sherlock Holmes in it. It's a pretty outside of it being the 50th anniversary, it's a pretty famous cover.
Yes.
It's a famous cover. Sherlock Holmes on the cover, kind of like that one issue of Batman from the Bronze Age that I've got a decent copy of with the shadow on the cover.
Yes.
That we had covered before, and that was not just a great book, but it was just awesome. Like, the Shadow's in Batman? Oh my god!
Oh, dude, I love the Shadow too. There's a few so iconic covers from Batman. The other one that I always, and I've got a copy, I think I'd have to go back and look. Do you remember the cover of Batman where he's he's walking on the ledge of a building, and he's like shining the bat light, and it's raining? That's it. That's the freaking cover. But yeah, awesome. I haven't read this in years, and it really held up well. All of its few warts and everything else from being dated. Somebody'd have to look up some of the references, but overall, man, it's awesome issue. The damn art was Alan Davis really brought it. It was freaking great. Even Cruz, dude. The fact that they changed the artist for the older story was cool.
Yeah, I knew Bradley had been around like forever, but I didn't realize how basically the first
The first DC hero.
literally the first DC non-superhero hero, because it was before before the debut of like Superman and Batman.
Yes. But that would be cool. All right, I picked this one. What'd you figure?
I'm trying to.
Oh God, you still thinking about it?
No, I'm trying to pick which one. I've kind of like, wound it down to what, like, book I want.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's one that I want, but it's actually like a 4-part story.
Oh, good God.
So I'm like, and the last part of it is like a double-sized issue. So I'm like, no, that should be saved for a different day. We just did an anniversary issue, so I don't want to do that anniversary issue.
Words.
Yeah, so I'm just like, how about I can't find the cover that I wanted, and I don't want to dig for it. I gotta hit Control and enlarge so I can read the damn number.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, 8 more pages in this novel-length epic of Legion of Superheroes number 269.
Legion of Superheroes 269.
Validus versus Mon-El in the first battle of the New Galactic War, starring the Legion of Superheroes and the Fatal Five.
From November 1980, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Gary Conway, Jim James, Frank something, I can't even say his last name. Good Lord, it's got a whole ton of people in it. Colossal Boy, Lightning Lad, Mon-El.
The core team in this one is Lightning Lad, Satin Girl, Wildfire, Princess Projector, who ends up being somebody else way later on, and Timberwolf. And Timberwolf is like one of my all-time favorite members of the Legion. So
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I didn't know why I liked Timberwolf. Actually, I didn't. I used to read Legion all the time when I was a little kid, and granted, it was like the same 5 or 6 issues over and over again. But eventually, I actually read them instead of just flipping through them and decided what the story was for myself. I was like, I don't know why I like Wolverine. I go, oh, Wolverine is Marvel's Timberwolf. Cool.
Damn it.
Back when you could get 2 books for $1 brand new off the rack.
Yep. Can't do that anymore.
Nope.
So I'll get it and send it over to you, and then I check my schedule. I think I'm good for next Thursday. Back our regular time as always.
Okay. Because of the last 2 weeks, we can say we'll see you next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat channel.
Or channels, rather. A bump bump.